Hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Cristina Mendez with UCSD CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services. So I'm here today, or whatever time you're practicing with me at, to guide you in a brief restorative yoga practice. The intention of this practice is to give you a space to unwind from stressors that may be going on in your day-to-day life, and this is being posted in advance of the election, so if there's stressors specific to that. And also acknowledging that BIPOC students and students from other minoritized and oppressed identities may also be facing recurrent and daily stressors and reminders of ethnic and race-based stress and trauma in their lives. So for whatever reason you've arrived here today, I'm here to support you in this virtual contained space the best way that I can possible, and to provide, a brief, loving environment and hopefully relief from whatever is going on in your day to day, so you can offer yourself this little bit of self-care and self-love. A little bit about me. So I mentioned I'm with CAPS. I have a doctorate in psychology, and I'm also an advanced certified yoga instructor. So I've been teaching yoga for a couple of years, and my passion is just being here to support people in any context that I can, for those who need it, especially who need it the most. And so I want to make this accessible to all folks. There will be some physical practice. It's going to be very gentle. If doing physical postures is not accessible, finding a place to sit or lie down supported in meditation and just following along, with the audio of this can also have wonderful benefits. So modify and make this as accessible as you need to. If at any point in time you feel uncomfortable or it doesn't feel like a right guidance for you or your body or your needs, listen to that, trust your intuition 100%. I'm here just offering suggestions based on my training and teaching and practice, and you're the expert in your own being, so I trust in that. What I will invite you to have today for our practice, if possible, is either a blanket. So I've got some blankets here. If you can have two blankets, they don't have to look like this. They can be any kind of blankets. If you have any thicker ones, that would be great. Or even like a thick bath towel. The idea is that we want some padding for the ground. Otherwise, I have a carpet in front of me. If you've got a carpet, that is excellent. You can definitely practice on the carpet. Sometimes giving yourself a little extra cushion can be some nice added comfort, but it's not necessary. And also, if your hips or knees or anything is tight or needs additional support, it can be helpful to have, a blanket or a pillow or a towel to kind of fold over and use for that extra care. All right. So, I've got my yoga mat here, not necessary. You might use a carpet if you've got that, or some other form of padding. I like to have tea when I'm practicing. If that feels nice and cozy and nourishing for you, listen to whatever your body needs to make this a warm and safe environment for you. I encourage you to, close any doors around if you've got a secure kind of place to practice so that there's no distractions coming in. Make sure you feel like you're in a safe and supportive environment. Get cozy. I've got my sweater. It's finally fall weather as I'm filming this. And take care of your needs. If you ever need to stop, that's all right. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm sitting cross-legged. If you prefer to be in a chair, or if you want to just follow along while you're lying down, that's okay. Some of these initial kind of guided practices will be seated. So, modify as works for you. Chair, no chair, lying down, choose to join, choose to listen. Your practice, your body. Okay. So if you're following along in the way that I'm guiding it now, you can always prop your seat up on a blanket if you'd like. Otherwise, hands can rest on your knees. Your legs might be crisscross applesauce. A nice tall spine. If you need to lean against something, that's okay. And maybe close your eyes. If that doesn't feel right for you, that's okay. Just have a gentle gaze, kind of like a little bit closed if that feels okay. Or if you prefer to have them totally open if that feels safer, just find something to gently gaze at, kind of in the distance, something that feels pleasant or neutral for you. So we're going to begin to just arrive in the here and now. An important part of this practice is just coming into this moment. So often our minds or our bodies, our emotions, our energy is in so many different places, especially with so much input, so much news and to-dos and tasks coming in and going out. In this practice, we let it settle, kind of like a snow globe with all the particles just drifting slowly down to the base. Maybe even envisioning your thoughts like that snow globe or any to-dos, anything tugging at your mind right now. Just letting it slowly settle, drifting down, letting it melt into the earth. As you begin to let your thoughts, your mind, your body settle here, begin to notice how you're breathing. Breathing is something that we do automatically. Oftentimes we forget to pay attention to it. It's also something that we can change. So it's automatic, but we can also kind of do manual override on it. So if our breathing isn't serving us, we can choose to shift it. And the breath, scientifically, and as we feel it in our physical body, has so much power over how our body functions and how our mind and emotions function. It gives us an indication of whether we're in a state of stress or relaxation or more neutral. So as you breathe in and out, just notice it. Notice when you breathe in. Notice when you breathe out. Notice where that breath is going. Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? See if you can make your breath a little bit slower and fuller. If it feels comfortable in your body, go ahead and bring your hands to your belly. If that doesn't feel comfortable, no worries. Leave your hands on your knees or wherever feels right for you. Before we start this intentional breathing practice, just notice your hands here. Perhaps there's warmth from your body. Perhaps there's texture from your clothes. Notice them on your belly, this place where you can hold a lot, this place that metabolizes, that processes a lot. Just send some love through your hands, this capacity to heal within your own fingertips, just with some loving intention. The belly holds so much in our stories of how we arrived in this body, from the bellies that carried us, and the bellies that carried them, all these lines of our ancestry. Perhaps sending love and honoring your lineage in this moment and grounding in all of those who have carried you until this moment. All of those who still carry you. The because of how you arrived to this moment. See if you can breathe a little more deeply into your belly. A lot of times society tells us to suck in our belly, or we tend to breathe into our chest. But really, this slow rhythmic belly breathing is our natural function. We've just been conditioned otherwise. So see if you can let your belly slowly fill up as you breathe in. See if you can let it gently draw back toward your spine as you breathe out. Again, slowly let your belly fill up as you breathe in. And draw it back as you breathe out. 3 more rounds like this. Slowly fill up your belly as you breathe in. And draw it back as you breathe out. Your inhale through your nose if you can. Breathe in. Your exhale through your nose if you can. 1 more round. Inhale through your nose, belly fills. And exhale through your nose, belly draws back. Just noticing, sending your loving presence to this moment, to this beautiful body of yours, however it is functioning, however it is carrying you through each day, through each moment. Perhaps giving a thank you to your body as it is, and a thank you to all the beings that have carried you in all the ages of your ancestry. Take a big breath into your nose and out your mouth. Beautiful. From here, let your hands drift down to your knees again. Maybe your eyes will gently blink on open. Maybe the edges of your mouth turn up. A little smile just for yourself. Don't have to send that to anyone else if you don't want to. And then one hand, or maybe your left hand on your heart, maybe the center of your chest, your right hand on top. Just let your head bow in slightly if you're seated. Think about any intention you'd like to invite into your practice, any quality you'd like to cultivate in this space. Maybe it's just sending yourself love, maybe a moment of relief, maybe something else. Honoring that intention, and regardless, sending yourself love and thanks for showing up right here, right now. A big breath in. And out your mouth. Beautiful. Hands drift down again to your knees, eyes blink open. From here, go ahead and slowly roll your shoulders up towards your ears as you breathe in. And let them roll and melt down your back as you breathe out. The in-breaths can be through the nose, out-breaths can be mouth or nose. Breathe in, shoulders roll forward and up. And breathe out, let them fall and roll back. Last one, slow breath in, roll them up, maybe scrunch them. And breathe out, let them roll back down. A lot of times we carry so much on our shoulders, whether energetically or this physical tension from stress. So taking pause to give yourself those shoulder rolls, or just contrast the tension of the roll up and the contrast of relaxing, releasing them down. Sometimes we don't know until we're in our bodies feeling how all of this manifests. From here, go ahead and bring your hands to your knees, or maybe just below them on your shins. Slowly breathe in, puff up your chest and arc your upper back. Maybe gaze up. This can be any amount. As you breathe out, curl your belly button in and round your spine. 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders roll back, puff up your chest, maybe gaze up. And as you breathe out, curl your belly button in and slowly round your spine. 1 more time, slowly breathe in. And breathe out. Upright your spine here. Hands come behind you and then switch the crisscross of your legs. If you need something under your seat, that's totally okay. We're almost done seated and then we'll be transitioning towards lying down. From here, go ahead and find a nice tall spine. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, let your chin slowly lower down towards your chest. Maybe your eyes close. Deep breath in here. I'm going to mirror you because my camera is kind of like a mirror, so my side's going to be different than yours. But as you breathe out, go ahead and roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. So head rolls to the right. Pause here. You need to peek your eyes open, you can look at me. Just notice any gentle stretches in your neck. No need to force anything. Slow, deep breath in. And a slow, deep breath out. Deep breath in here. As you breathe out, chin slowly rolls back towards your chest. Big breath in. As you breathe out, left ear rolls towards your left shoulder. Notice the stretch along the side of your neck. No need to force or do anything different. Just a slow, deep breath in. And a slow, deep breath out. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly let your chin roll back down towards your chest. And then use either hand, lovingly bring your fingertips to your forehead and invite your head back upright. Our heads are actually pretty heavy, so that's why we want to help them out from that vulnerable position in our neck, give them that support so we don't cause any strain after stretching. All right, so from here, I'm going to encourage either have a soft surface to lie down on, carpet. If you've got a yoga mat, great. I'll say, if you've got a beach towel or blanket, why not lay it out long on your mat or on your carpet to just give yourself a little bit of extra padding. So restorative yoga is all about having the coziness and support that you need to feel at ease. In a way, it can be very luxurious, and we can get creative about how we can offer ourselves those qualities of support. So traditionally, restorative yoga, or at least in the way that I learned, I should say, rather than traditionally, is used or taught with a lot of different props like bolsters, which are these big cushions or blocks. I'm going to teach it without any props except for, blankets. I think that can be helpful if you don't have padded carpet. But if you look up restorative yoga online, it might use some different kind of yoga tools like these bolsters or blocks and whatnot. So this is intended to be accessible for you whether you have those or not. All right, a little sip of tea to transition. I'm going to turn sideways on my mat. If you've got a mat or this setup, you can follow along. It might be easier if you're just facing whatever way you initially were. So we're going to sit with our feet about hip distance apart and our knees pointed up. Bring your hands behind you with your fingertips pointing back. Move this blanket so you can see. All right, just a gentle puffing up of your chest. Maybe the head tilts up. You can close your eyes, take a big breath in. And a big breath out. A lot of times, like I mentioned, we can hold this tension in our shoulders, in our shoulder blades. Energetically, this is considered to be the back of the heart or the shadow side where maybe difficult emotions or experiences can get stuck. And so our body, it holds on to things. You might see animals shake after they're stressed, like dogs, how they flap their ears around. Humans sometimes forget to release what the body holds on to. And so we bring this intention with these postures, with our breathing, with our attention to let a little bit go, as much as feels safe. A big breath in and out. Beautiful. Slowly walk your hands in a little bit. And I'll invite you to wrap your arms around your shins, grabbing a hold of your fingertips or wrists or your elbows, and let your head drop down. I'm going to turn to face front ways so you can see it from a different perspective. So feet are hip distance, arms wrap around your shins below your knees, and your head just drops. Let it be heavy. Let your breath be easy. Maybe the eyes close. Just stay resting here with your head hanging down, allowing a stretch along the back of the neck, all the way down your spine, your vertebrae. My head will be lifted at times just so you can hear me more clearly, but stay in here for a few more breaths, if it feels okay. Notice the gentle pressing, perhaps, of your belly against your thighs. Perhaps feeling a grounded comfort here. Supported by your own embrace. Let your toes, the soles of your feet root down into the ground. A big breath in. And out your mouth. With grace, very slowly unfurl your head upright. Hold onto your shins here for a moment. Lengthen up your spine, big breath in. And out. We're going to lay down on our backs now, if you're not already there, and take your practice at your pace. Any way that feels right. You might hold onto your shins or the backs of your knees, lying all the way down. Feet long out in front of you. Let your toes splay out. I like to have my hands on my hips to start. This is a little bit more of a grounding intention. Depending on what your life experience is, there may be a lot that's kind of felt if you touch your hips or just around experiences in this energetic area. If it feels like too much, then there is no need to put your hands here. If it feels healing or medicinal or grounding, then do what works for your body. But the hips, they do hold a lot of emotion. So be gentle with yourself here. And if anything comes up that's too much, you can open your eyes, you can sit up, take care of yourself. If your hands aren't on your hips, they can be out wide. Just taking a few moments to let your bones settle, let your body reconnect to the support of the earth. This beautiful earth, the ground that's always beneath, that mirrors our very composition. So we remember where we come from. We allow the earth, the ground, to hold us, to support us in this practice. Knowing that it's always there to connect to. We'll come back to this pose or rest pose eventually. A few more restorative postures in the meantime before we return. If this is medicine, if this is nourishing for you, please stay. Honor your body. You can always cover up with a blanket and just continue relaxing. Otherwise, to move on, just gently bend one knee at a time so your feet come down flat on the ground. You can peek my direction if you'd like. Hip distance apart once more. This gives your knees a nice amount of support. And then reach your fingertips forward. See if you can touch your heels. That gives you an idea of kind of this structure of your bones that is supportive for your joints and your musculature. So there's intention about how we align ourselves in these practices to be most supportive of us so there's no strain or minimal. Just notice how this feels, your knees above your ankles more or less, your toes point forward, your feet connected to the ground. And if it feels okay, bring your hands to your outer rib cage. Notice your breath here. See if you can reactivate that belly breathing. Filling up your belly as you breathe in. Letting it return towards the earth as you breathe out. 2 more like this. Breathing in, fill up your palms, your belly. Breathe out, let your belly button drift down towards the ground. 1 more slow breath in. And out. See if you can make your breath a little wider now. So expand your breath out to the sides. Big breath in. And out. Giving love to all the areas of your rib cage, your lungs. Breathe in sideways. And breathe out. Be playful with it. There's no right or wrong. We're just moving our intention around the areas that support our breathing. 1 more breath widthways. And back in. And keeping your hands as they are, just imagine the back side of your body, so the spine, the backs of the lungs, even down to the bottom of the shoulder blades. See if you can fill up your back body as you breathe in. Slow, deep inhale. And exhale. 2 more big breath in. And out. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, scooch your heels out a little bit wider, like 1 footprint wider. Let your knees knock in. Maybe your arms come out wide. Maybe they stay at your ribs or your hips. Maybe they cactus out for a little opening of the shoulders. If this doesn't feel good, it should be a little bit of a release for the low back. You can always return to scooting your heels under your knees upright. Otherwise, keep your knees knocked in and touching. Bring your awareness to your hips, gentle breathing towards there. This is intentional softening. Notice your low back. See if you can soften. Notice your knees, your ankles, your toes. See if they can soften. A few more slow and steady breaths here. See if your jaw can soften. Slow, deep breath in and out. This is serving you, then stay as long as you would like. You can always click pause if you want to eventually move to the next one. Otherwise, to transition, slowly heel toe your feet about 1 or 2 steps in, just like we had our knees up right before. You might bring your hands to your hips, and then extend your right leg long on the earth, and let your left knee fall out to the side. It can be, your left foot can be at the height of your right knee, higher, can be lower. If this is really intense in your hips, you can bring your left foot down towards your right calf. And if this is also feeling intense, you might bring a blanket as extra padding underneath your knee. You might sit up to rearrange this if you need to. So that can be a great support. Hands can stay at your hips. They can come out alongside you. They can cactus for a little more shoulder opening. Make this your own. Let your right toes kind of splay out. There's no need to hold the leg up in any specific way. Let your eyes close. We'll spend about a minute here. If you need to come out at any time, you can always upright your left knee and lengthen out the leg in rest pose. Again, our hips can carry a lot of emotion. They can carry a lot of our lineage of how we came to be. So be gentle with yourself. If anything comes up and you need a break or to come out of it, you can breathe deeper. You can extend your legs into rest. You can always open your eyes. Take care of your body and your mind and your feelings in this moment. If you're still with me in this pose, see if you can melt your muscles a little bit more, allowing the earth to support you. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to your breathing. You might choose to stay here longer. You're ready to transition to the next side. And then gently use your left hand to help your left knee back up. Extend your left knee long. Take a pause here. You might move that blanket to the other side if you wanted that support for your other knee. And then go ahead and bend your right knee. See that you can reach out with your right hand, maybe touch your finger or your heel with your fingertips. And then let the right knee gently open out, maybe with that support under that blanket. Maybe it's just on the ground or there's a pillow. So the right foot will be higher up on the right thigh, if that's comfortable, if your hips are feeling pretty open. If that's not comfortable, just slide it down. It can go all the way down towards the ankle, towards the calf of your left leg. Adjust your arms. This feels right for you. This is reclined tree pose. We find roots. We reassess. We need more nourishment for our roots by coming back down to the ground. By coming home to ourselves here, by coming back to the support of the earth below. We can get a more gentle perspective of how to care for ourselves when we're outside of this practice, or if we just need to come back to the practice more and more. So we tend to our roots here. In about a minute, come back to your breathing. If your mind wanders, allow yourself this rest. Coming back to a gentle awareness of your being in this moment. Maybe you gently wiggle your fingers or toes. Choose to stay right here and now. If this side feels nourishing. Otherwise, use your right hand to gently help the knee upright. Bring your left knee back to meet it. So both feet are down on the ground, knees bent. See that you can more or less graze your heels with your fingertips. And go ahead and cactus out your arms. Take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, let your knees gently drift over to the right. If that's not comfortable, come back up to center. Otherwise, let your knees drape to the right. Turn your head over to the left. Maybe your eyes can close. Take a big breath in. And out your mouth. Inhale, come back to center. Maybe a little strength in your belly to bring your knees back. Exhale, let your knees drift over to the left. Turn your head to the right. Big breath in. And out your mouth. Inhale, draw your knees back up to center, a little strength from your belly to help. And then extend your legs long. We're going to come to our resting pose. Again, hands might rest on your hips. If you want a little more sense of grounding down. Otherwise, the arms might open wide. You might cactus them out if your shoulders are a little tight. So making kind of goalpost arms. Find something that's nourishing and supportive for you. And if you have an extra blanket, you might choose to use it to cover up with. For a little extra grounding, you might just place it on your hips. It also impacts how your low back can release, have this extra weight if there's no pain in your low back. You might cover up your whole body. Just tuck yourself into your rest pose. Allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. Once again, we come back to the support of the earth. We allow ourselves to be held here. share any load that we've been carrying, even if we can share just the tiniest bit. Allow yourself to feel supported. Perhaps invite a sense of ease just for these next few moments as you give yourself this time to be in your own loving presence. Allow your eyebrows to soften, your forehead to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. Maybe slide your tongue across the fronts of your teeth, top and bottom. Help the jaw soften a little more. Allow your shoulders to soften, the fronts, the backs, the sides. Allow your hands, your fingers to relax. Allow your rib cage to soften, maybe gently broaden. Your belly to be soft. Allow your hips to soften down to the earth. Allow your legs to become a little heavier. You need to hold up your muscles right now. The earth is here to hold you. Allow your feet, your toes to soften. And we'll rest here for another minute, supported by the earth, supported by all of the lineage of our ancestry that has brought us to this moment. Allowing space for healing for the future ancestors that we will become. What we create in this moment, we pass on in all the future moments. We can choose each moment to create something new, to invite something different, or to remember something nourishing. So create a loving space or a nourishing space as you need right here and right now. These last 10 or so breaths in our resting pose. From this place of ease, allow your breath to slowly deepen. Allow your body to gently awaken as you fill up all the edges of your being, maybe edgeless being, with your breath. Allow yourself to be expansive, to take up this space. Maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe once more glide your tongue across the fronts of your teeth, top and bottom, softening the jaw. If it's accessible, take a slow roll of your arms up overhead, a nice big stretch. Deep inhale. And exhale. One more like that. Big breath in, stretch, reach. And let it go. Gently draw your arms back alongside you. If you have any blankets, you can move them. Bend one knee and then the other. One breath in here. And out. And gently roll to either side, fetal position. One arm underneath your head. One hand connected to the earth in front of your chest. Get comfy and just take a pause. And I bring our attention to the earth so much because of our composition, of our being, reflected so much in the composition, the being, the states of the earth. And also because it is a constant source of grounding, of remembrance. If we need to connect back, we can always bring our hand back down to the earth and remember where we come from, where we return to, and where all of our ancestors have been held. And the support system that has carried us to this moment and will carry us through our future moments. So a moment of thanks to this earth beneath us. A big inhale. A big exhale. A moment of thanks to all who have supported and carried us here. A big inhale. And exhale. A moment of thanks to ourselves for investing in our nourishment so that we can support those who come after us, so we can support those who are meaningful to us now, and so we can support ourselves as we need it. A big inhale and exhale. Connect down to the ground, and as you're ready, very slowly roll yourself up. Maybe your eyes blink open, maybe you keep them gently closed. Find a comfortable cross-legged seat or otherwise. Invite your eyes back closed if they're not already. Let yourself settle back in this moment. Just notice how you're feeling right now compared to when you first arrived. Hopefully a little bit of your load has been lifted or at least shared, maybe just for this bit of time or even moments of the time that you practiced. This practice can give much needed relief to our nervous system, to our brain, to our bodies, in turn, how we feel. Bring your left hand onto your heart and your right hand on top, coming back to this loving awareness. And if it's accessible, keep your left hand on your heart, leaning forward, touch your right hand on the ground. Remembrance that this support is always here beneath you. Connect back into the earth and nature all around us that reflect all that we're composed of as well. Draw that grounding nourishment back up, right palm on your heart. A slow, deep breath into your nose and out your mouth. Maybe keep your hands here Maybe let them drift back down. Let your eyes slowly blink open. Perhaps offer a smile to yourself or to anyone who you'd like to send it to, anything you'd like to send it to. And I thank you so deeply for joining me today, whatever time it is that you're joining me. I hope that this practice offers a little bit of refuge, some tools for finding ease within yourself, and that you can make it accessible to yourself as needed, anytime you need to come back to it. You can always choose to practice some of these poses longer or shorter as you need, but I hope that it's a resource for you and encourage you to trust your intuition if it's not, or if there's other ways to adapt or nourish yourself within this context or elsewhere. It's been an honor supporting you. I wish you ease, and I might see you soon if you choose to come back or replay this practice or at CAPS. So from CAPS to you, wishing you ease. Thank you so much.